Hey, what's up guys? In this lesson, we are going to be mastering the pentatonic scale. My name is Mike B, and this is Guitar Control. So right before I dive into this lesson, head down to the description of this video, click on that link to get the tabs up in front of you. There's going to be a whole bunch of diagrams that are going to be super useful in aiding you to memorize these pentatonic scales. So the first thing I want to talk about today is the why. Why are we going to spend all this time learning these pentatonic scales, when we could be out there learning songs, learning riffs, and let me tell you why. The pentatonic scale is much more than a scale on the guitar. The pentatonic scale is essentially a map of your fretboard. When you get good at this, you'll look down at your fretboard and you'll be able to see all of the notes in any key. It'll just be like, look, and you can just see them all. It's no longer this jungle in the fretboard. It'll just be, like I said, a map installed in your head. Any key, no matter what style, you'll know exactly where all the right notes are. So that's the first super valuable thing about the pentatonic scale. The second reason why you want to master the pentatonic scale and put this energy in is because every single riff, chord, and solo you've played on the guitar uses the pentatonic scale. So if you're familiar with the scale, this is going to make learning all those things so much easier, right? You're going to be able to predict where they go. It's no longer going to be this big jungle and confusion. You'll be able to see the scale around the riff. It makes things way easier. The last reason that you want to learn the pentatonic scale is simply to express yourself with music. If you never learn any scales or any theory or anything like that, you'll always be kind of limited to just playing songs and shapes and things like that. But if you learn these scales, you can literally express yourself, make your own music with them. Okay, so we've covered the why, and now it's time for the how long. Now, I do this with a whole bunch of my students, getting these 5 different shapes of the pentatonic scale memorized. So I've seen this with a lot of different people, obviously, and what I've kind of noticed is we're looking at about a 3-week timeline to get a good handle on one key, on the first key of the minor pentatonic. To kind of get these 5 shapes memorized and down, you're looking at about a 3-week period on average. I hate to use the word on average because everybody is so unique when it comes to this stuff. You might be better at, learning songs or learning drills than necessarily learning scales. But if you're practicing, this stuff about 5-10 minutes every single day, yeah, we're looking at about a 3-week timeline to get everything we're going to talk about in today's lesson done. And while we're going through things, I'm actually going to be giving you time amounts. Okay, so get these 2 memorized, come back in 2 weeks. We're going to be, really doing a lot of that kind of playing. So, all in all, if you're practicing every day for 5 minutes, you're looking at about 3 weeks of homework with your pentatonic scales here. Like I said, about 5 minutes a day. You can definitely handle that to get this massive project totally down and memorized. So without further ado, let's dive into this one. Here is what box 1 looks like. And it won't really surprise me too much if you've seen this shape before. This one's very, very common, also known as the E minor shape or the G shape, but I'll be using the number system today. This is box 1 right here. It looks like this. Notice I went both up and down when I was running that scale. I did both ascending and descending. That is very important when you're learning these because your brain is going to need to be able to see these upside down, backwards, right? So being able to go up as well as down is going to be a key first step right there. And that's the fingering I always like to get my students doing. First finger, fourth finger, first finger, third finger, first, third. First, third, first, fourth, and first, fourth. This is the best fingering right here. Now, if you have massive hands, you could also get away with going 1, 3, 1, 2. But for day 1, I would recommend most of you guys just do, 1, 3, and 4 fingers for this entire thing right there. Now, if we kind of break down, after knowing, and learning that first box, kind of what's going on here today, and what exactly are these 5 positions of the minor pentatonic scale, or the pentatonic scale? Well, right there, if I have that shape right here, now there are only 5 notes in this scale. Pentatonic, pent, 5, it's a 5-note scale. Now, you don't have to understand this or have this memorized or anything, but just so you know kind of how this works, the notes in this scale are A, C, D, E, and G. One more time, that's A, C, D, E, G. A, C, D, E, G. And then I do it again, A, C, D, E, G, then back to A, C. Like I said, you don't have to know those notes right now. That's kind of a job for later. But what I want to prove here is we have the notes A, C, D, E, G 2 times in this shape right here, right? 2 different times we counted through all of those notes. So if you can imagine, those 5 notes exist 2 or 3 times in this little spot of the neck. There's going to be A, C, D, E's, and G's all around the fretboard, right? There's going to be A, C, D, E, G's here, 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 right? All around, all across the fretboard. So what we do on the guitar is we break this down into 5 boxes or shapes or patterns, each one occupying a 4 to 5 fret zone on the guitar right here. And then once we have all these 5 positions down, that's when, like I said, you start to see the map of the guitar just appear in any key. We're doing everything in A minor today. We'll talk more about other keys a little bit later. So you've got box 1 right there, A minor. Now, a great thing to do to get this memorized and get this in your head, this goes for any one of these boxes, is to try sticking your metronome on there. If you run this thing, 100, 110 beats per minute, 1 note per click a few times, if you're able to do that speed comfortably, keep speeding that metronome up. Building speed and doing it with the metronome is going to force you to get this locked in your head. It's not going to be something you're thinking about anymore once you get it to that point, right? And that's what we need with practice. It's got to be no thought. So that's box 1 right there. Now, like I was saying, box 2, or the next position here, is going to be just right above box 1, or just 1 position closer to the body. So box 1 went 5-8. Box 2 is going to start right where box 1 left off. So box 1 did 5-8. That means 8 is going to be the first note of the second box. And unfortunately, all the boxes are going to be different shapes. That's where the memorization comes in. So box 2, and again, refer to the PDF if you need a diagram of this, but box 2 looks like this right here. We go... Again, that is the fingering that I get all of my one-on-one students to do at first, exactly like that. And again, refer to the diagrams on the PDF if you need that, again, a replay of that or slow down or anything, or to actually visually see it. Just pull up that PDF or feel free to rewind a few times. So that is box 2 right there. Now, remember I said before how I like to give my students kind of a weekly sort of plan with this stuff. And we're looking at a 3-week plan total. So what I want you to do is, for the first 2 weeks that you're doing this, and like this is a pathway to success right here. I've walked hundreds of people through this, one-on-one students over the years. You get box 1 and 2 memorized the first week. So spend that first week, just running them both, on their own to the metronome, building up a bit of speed. And yeah, we're looking at about 1 week to get both of those down. So box 1 and 2, that's your 1 week plan right there to get those mastered and memorized. Now, once you have both of those down, now we're going to continue on to box 3 and 4. This is what we're going to do on the second week. So box 1 was here, 5-8. Box 2 was here, 8-10. So that means that box 3 is going to be right here. It's going to share the higher note of box 2. So here's what box 3 looks like right here. This is the fingering that I like to get my students doing. So that's box 3 right there. Like I said, that is the fingering that I get most of my students doing right off the bat. 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3. Now this one's a little easier to memorize than box 2, because check it out. We've got 10, 12 on 4 out of 6 strings, right? 10, 12, 10, 12, 10, 12, 9, 12, 10, 13, then back to 10, 12, right? So almost the entire thing is just 10 12s when you're doing box 3 in the key of A minor. So that's box 3, connects right to box 2. And like I said, so we're on week 2 of your practice schedule here. So now we also want to get box 4 done this week. So box 4, be right here. If box 3 is here, we know box 4 is going to be right there on the higher note of box 3. Here's box 4 right here. So, for this second week, you are going to be spending your time memorizing box 3 and box 4. But when you're working on those, remember, you got to keep running box 1 and 2 as well. You don't want to forget those. So yeah, as long as you're putting 5 minutes a day, you should have time to memorize the new ones as well as keep the old ones under your fingers. So far, we are at 4 out of 5 boxes. Yeah, so now we're on our 3rd week here. And here's what you're going to do for the first half of the 3rd week. You're going to be spending your time getting this position 5 memorized. Here's what it looks like right here. And I find that fingering right there works best a lot of the time. 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, the entire time. Now, once you've got up to box 5, now box 5 actually connects back to box 1, because now we've gone through all of them. Now, I know box 1 looks a little weird up here, but that's the exact same shape as the 5/8 we were doing. We just add 12 frets, it's now 1 octave up, same shape. So those are the 5 different shapes right there. We're just in the key of A minor today, but when you go to other keys and switch, they're all just gonna kind of shuffle in unison, right? If you do the key of G, just do the same thing. Everything 2 frets down, every box 2 frets down. Box 1's always connected to 2, always to 3, right? All these boxes are always in the same order, same shape. You just gotta move where they start from when you're learning other keys. So far, you know, that's right now we're halfway through week 3 on our pentatonic scale mastery. So we've got all 5 positions memorized in A minor. That's where we want to be before we start this next step. And remember, to get there, metronome, right? That's one of your best friends. You can even keep track of how fast you're doing each one and try to increase your speeds. It's a great rhythm exercise as well as technique and speed exercise. So now that you've got those 5 positions down and memorized, here's what you want to do. There's a little drill that I was taught that kind of connects all of these boxes together. And this, like I said, don't try this until you've got all 5 memorized, about 3 weeks or so here, right? So here's what we're gonna do. We go up box 1. Now when you get to the top of box 1, you don't descend down box 1 again. You're actually gonna go shift up and you're gonna descend box 2. Now we go up here, we ascend box 3. Now we descend box 4. So shift, now descend. So far we ascended 1, descended 2, ascended 3, descended 4, right? Every time you switch direction, so up 1, shift, down 2, up 3, down 4. So far just one direction on each box. Now the last step here is you're gonna do 5. Now this is the one you have to ascend and descend because then it's gonna flip the directions on the way back. So you take 5, you ascend, and you descend. Now we start working our way back. So shift back to 4, you ascend 4. Now you descend 3. Now you ascend 2. And then you descend 1. Again, this is all written out in that PDF if you're having some troubles following along just on video here. But yeah, to sum that up 1, down 2, up 3, down 2, up and down 5, back to up 4, down 3, up 2, down 1, and then we're back to home base after that. So this is your full 3-week plan right there. Memorize box 1 and 2 on the first week, second week 3 and 4, first half of the third week you're doing box 5, second half of the third week you are doing that drill, connecting them all right there. And if you do this, like I said, 5 minutes a day, after 3 weeks, you should have A minor totally mapped out in your head. But keep in mind, if this takes you a little bit longer, a little bit more time, or a little bit less time, don't worry about it too much. Like, everybody has, niches on the guitar and things they are better at than other people. Some people might be better at scales than you, might be able to do this stuff, in half the time we're talking about. Or, yes, you might be better at rhythm and learning songs or something like that. And this might take you 4 or 5 weeks, right? Everybody's on their own sort of journey with the guitar. Don't try to compare yourself to other people too much there. Just use the 3 weeks as a rough guide. So now for the next steps, right? Because, there's not just the key of A minor, right? We're going to see songs in all 12 keys on the guitar. So what you're going to do next is you're going to choose one more key. I might suggest a key like E minor. And you're going to spend 1 week working out E minor. Because now that you've done the boxes all on their own, you've seen them all, we're just shifting everything, right? So E minor, I know it's 1 week compared to 3 weeks on the last one, but all you're doing is taking the shapes and moving them. You're not changing or memorizing any new shapes really. So spend a few, day on box 1, day on box 2, day on box 3, day on box 4, day on box 5, and then a couple days working the drill after that. You can do a second key in about a week's time after that. After that, just keep going, try E minor, then try G minor, then try B minor, right? And as you keep doing this, you're gonna be able to find them faster and faster. And like the last couple of keys you do, after you've done 4 or 5 different keys, are gonna be coming just like that, right? You'll be able, oh yeah, box 4, I could start that anywhere. I know it's gonna be this shape every time, right? So that's the next step right there in pentatonic scale mastery, exploring more keys. Last step you want to do to master your pentatonic scale, use YouTube. There's this whole bunch of great resources out there for backing tracks. So what you want to do is type in on the YouTube search bar, if you're doing the key of A minor, first type in A minor backing track. After that, you're going to type in a musical style, whatever you're feeling that day. So you go A minor backing track, rock. A minor backing track, country. A minor backing track, metal, right? Always include whatever kind of music you feel like playing that day, and then you just try to improvise in those scales and make up your own music. And yeah, this is one of those things, we don't want to assume this is going to sound good right away, because you want to think about this more as like wandering around the scales while there's a backing track playing. When you've got the back track going, you're adding context to what you're doing. With a backing track, it sounds like you're playing over top of a whole band, right? So it's giving your ears context for what's going on in these pentatonic scales. When you just run them up and down on your own, it's great for your fingers, great for your knowledge, but it doesn't do much to your ears. When you start learning backing tracks, we're going to do a lot for your ears. You're going to start building your own personal lick library, it's called. And yeah, eventually you'll be able to improvise and make your own music, no problem, with all of these scales. So that right there is the pathway that I use with all of my one-on-one students. Everybody gets this down. Everybody gets this nailed and memorized. It just takes a little bit of time. Like I said, sometimes this might take someone less time or a little bit more time, but this is the pathway to get it nailed. So please let me know in the comments section if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, or anything like that. Thanks a lot for watching this video. We're releasing tons of free guitar content this year. You're definitely going to want to be in the know, so subscribe if you're into that. Again, thanks a lot for watching. Hope you guys have a great day or night wherever you are. I'll catch you in the next lesson.